Hello all. I haven't done a video in a while, and I'd like to do one on Parlay, surprise, surprise. And in particular, I wanted to take a look at the model zoo. So there are quite a lot of models here, and you can evaluate them, see how well they do, or you can actually have a conversation with them. Now, seems to be a problem with these Wizard of Wikipedia models. They're not downloading and uncompressing properly. Some work, some don't. So I'm not going to go through these full dialogue retrieval, for example, does not work. So which ones do work? I think this one does. Dodeca dialogue. Dodeca is 20. Dodeca dialogue. So I don't know what this is all about. I know that this unlikelihood one works. So let's take a look at this one. So just tap on that 3 times and copy it and bring it over here. I'm going to get out of this one here. All right, and paste this in here. Once again, look where I am. I'm in the Parlay directory. I am not in the Parlay directory. I'm in the capital P Parlay directory. That's where you have to be when you run the Parlay pipeline, or this one here. This is a Python. There are 2 ways to run this. You can run it this way, or let's see if I can get what's the matter with this thing. Control C, Control C. There we go. Control V. All right, so if you don't want to run it this way, what you can do is you can do Parlay interactive like this, I believe. Let's see if this works. So I just wanted to show you that this is an equivalent command. Of course, there are more things you can do with the Parlay pipeline than you can just with running the Python script. But you'll see this works just as well. And so what it's doing here is it is downloading some files. I guess this is the actual model that's being downloaded, and it's a TGZ file, so it has to be uncompressed once it's, so it's, I guess it's gun zipped and then it's untarred. And this is a 960 megabyte file. It's quite large. It's a gigabyte, almost a gigabyte in its compressed form. So this is going to become multiple gigabytes when it's uncompressed. All right, so who was Elmer Fudd? Let's see what he says. Elmer Fudd, the guy, was a big fan of the show. What show? All right, so not the greatest there. Let's see, who was Albert Einstein? A famous actor who played Elmer Fudd. All right, so this is not the smartest chatbot in the world. All right, so I guess this context repetition model here is going to really stick firmly to a context. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I guess there are occasions when this kind of model would be appropriate. So now I'm just going to exit out of here. And we're done with that. I wanted to show you where is it? I think it's CNDU maybe. History rep minus IDU. NCDU. I just wanted to show you that, not from here, let's CD to my home, and then run this again, NCDU. I just wanted to show you that this Parlay directory right now is 92.9 gigabytes. So it's massive. When you start running these models from the Model Zoo and they download, and you're downloading a gigabyte or two at a time, and then you're uncompressing them into 4 or 6 gigabytes or sometimes 25 gigabytes, these things get large right away. All right, so let's take a look at another model here. Let's try this one. This is the Dodeca Dialogue Light Dialogue. And I guess that this is going to give us small talk. All right, that's the wrong directory. That's the right directory. And we'll run this one. And so, what is your name? Don't have a name. What's yours? Mike. All right, so as you can see, this goes on and on like this. And I think you'd be hard pressed to, if you're just doing small talk, to tell it's not a person. But if you ask something specific like, who was Albert Einstein? Well, that's actually not a bad answer. All right, so that's just silly. So if you try to ask for real kinds of knowledge, this is not going to be a helpful chatbot. That's why it's a shame that the Wizard of Wall Street ones aren't working, because those might actually be helpful. This is a conversational AI one. And, well, let's give it a try. Why not? I should install Apex. I'm not quite sure what Apex does, but I probably should install it. I'm sober. So this is an alcoholic, I guess. This was fine-tuned this was trained on Reddit. So let's see. All right, so let's ask about Albert Einstein. All right, so this person here, or this chatbot, is going to talk about rock music. Let's see what else we can get here. Besides someone who likes to drink scotch and listen to music. So I'm going to be a little more selective here, because these are all very large, and I'm probably going to have to delete a lot of these very soon. All right, so here's one from, well, this is to train it. This is not the interactive. So if we're going to fine tune a model, we could use this. I'm not sure what this is at all. Image chat. But I don't see a way to run it, just to evaluate it. All right, so what is this one? Self-feeding chatbot. Well, this sounds interesting. Let's see if we can get this one working here. I don't know if I have this Python projects thing on my system. Let's see. So I don't know why it's spelling that incorrectly. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. All right, I don't see that this is learning anything. I'll have to look into it some more, but so far, I'm not particularly impressed by it. So, what is this? This one is trained on safety. So, I guess if you were going to do something with safety, you would want to use that as your basis. All right, so this is daily dialogue test. So Parlay, uh, task. Display model task. I'm not sure. I would like to look at this data. Hmm. So far, I'm not sure how to handle all of these switches and such. So this is another 1 gig compressed file that's being loaded. The good news is that my system's fairly fast, and I've got 200 megabit a 200 megabit connection, so it goes fairly quickly. But it's still taking up a lot of space on my hard drive. Not hard drive, my solid state drive. Man with blue hair. Okay. All right, so these can all be explored in greater depth, but from the point of view of this video, I don't want to spend too much time on any single one of these. It's very interesting to me that all of these are working fine. So this is, here's one trained on Twitter data. I don't know. Can we ask questions about Ubuntu on this one? This might be interesting. I'm noticing that a lot of these interactive ones have the same switches, the minus beam, context block, engram, 3. So I guess this is looking at 3 characters at a time. Minus beam, block, engram. So that's what engrams are. They're rather than looking at a single character to look at a character plus one behind and one in front when it's deciding what character it should grab next. Because with this, if this is a transformer based model, that's what it's doing. It's autoregressive, and then it's trying to predict the next character. So it goes character by character. So if you're making an assistant or something like that, and you want to chat, it's possible that you're going to want to chat with different using different models at different times. Uh, all right, so they do some funny things, but not particularly helpful things. And I'm interested in helpful, not clever or anything of that sort. So I really want that Wizard of Wikipedia stuff to start working. I don't know if it's going to. Empathetic dialogue. So if you need someone to be empathetic, that's a single task model. Well, let's give this a try. So none of these Wizard of Wikipedia things have been working properly. And I think that whoever put their compressed files out messed up somehow. So I don't expect this to work. The Wizard of Wikipedia dialogue task. So I'll have to look at what that is. It's a pity that none of these Wizard of Wikipedia models is able to actually go out and grab information from Wikipedia. It would be nice if that could be done also. Of course, I can do that myself using Wikipedia's API. So if I want to weave that into an assistant, it's easy enough to do. In fact, I already have that in my assistant. So this one's quite a bit larger, 2.84 gigabytes uncompressed. Or I'm sorry, compressed. So it'll be larger once it's uncompressed. And it can be quite a bit larger. This might go to, 6 gigabytes or something, 6 or 7 gigabytes once it's uncompressed. It's a good sign that it is downloading, but the problem that I've seen with the other Wizard of Wikipedias is it downloads, but then it won't uncompress. There's something wrong with the file. And it takes a while for these to uncompress. When something is that large, it takes a few minutes to do that. So are we seeing? It looks like we're getting some feedback on how it's going. I think that's what that is. And then what happened here? This does not look right, but perhaps it is. So this is single task. It'll be nice if this will actually dig into a topic. Let's see if it gives some examples here. Oh, this is an evaluation. This is not a what I want is interactive. Let's see if we can get this to work interactively. Let's just make a copy of this. Whoops. And then let's go and get one of these interactives. And let's see if we can just delete all of this. And then, oops, that did not work. Try this again. Uh, Oops. So we don't need this twice here. Let's see if that will run. All right, so that's a problem here. It does not like it will not run with sudo because it doesn't have, root does not have all the pathing for this. So that's fine. I don't mind that at all. So this does not like this beam. Let me see if we can just see if we can do it from here without all of those switches. So it may have to actually download the model for this. And there we go. It's grabbing the model, maybe. No, the model would be a lot larger than that. So that's the fixed candidate set. It looks like it's vectorizing something. Maybe it's vectorizing the candidate set. I'm not really sure what the candidate set is. Maybe those are the single skills that it's able to talk about. I'm not sure. Because it's not actually showing how to run the interactive here. So I'm just guessing. And I'm not that far along yet that I trust my guesses, but we'll see what happens. So here's the Blender model. This is the tiny one, and this runs all right, but it's not that great. And then here's the 2.7 billion parameter model, which is a quite intelligent chatbot. But of course, it's not able to get helpful information. So it's not able to talk about things inside Wikipedia, for example. And this is the 1 billion distilled. So this is should have everything that the 2.7 billion generative model has, but in a smaller format. And of course, these distilled ones are going to run a lot faster. There's the 9.4 billion. And this one will not run on my system. It's too large. You need two A100s in order to run this model. So you have to have something like $25,000 worth of tensor processing in order to get that to work. I don't know if it'll run on the new largest consumer card. The what is it? The 3089 or something like that. I forget the number for that. Then there's the multimodal Blender bot. This is on images and chit chat. Yeah, I'm just not that interested in chit chat. I don't know who is. You had to be fairly dull-witted to be entertained by the chit chat in these models. It's nice to have some of this kind of stuff if you're doing a chatbot for a bank or something, I suppose. But uh, just to have it on my computer, not so much. Oh, we can try this one again. Where is it? The Wikipedia plus Toronto Books model. Uh, there are just a lot of models here, but for the most part, they don't do it for me. All right, so we'll see how this Wizard of Wikipedia one goes. I have my fingers crossed that this will actually be something that's useful to me. And I do want to find it again here. Where is it? It was right up here, right before the Blender ones. We had this single task project, and I wanted to show you that there's a link here for a related project, and we can go in there, and you'll see that there's a README for the blended skill talk. Yeah, if you want to talk about video games, yeah, I don't want to talk about video games. But you can one can also start with this and then train it to actually be able to do some things that are useful. So here's how you can train it. -T, Wizard of Wikipedia. So as long as I have the training set, which I have, that's in data, I can train my own model. If their model will not download properly, I can just train it, and I don't know, it'll take probably a couple of days to train, and then I'll have it. But it would be nice if the folks at Facebook were able to fix their Wizard of Wikipedia stuff so that it all started working. I think because it's very large, fairly large, they probably had some problems with it. Maybe they had an intern do it or something. So we can look at the training data. This is quite interesting. And this, I believe, is the Parlay/Parlay/data directory would have all of this. And then there'd be a Wizard of Wikipedia. And then within that would be all of the necessary files to do training. There'd be a JSON file, and I think a database, and some plain text files. All right, let's see if it knows who Albert Einstein was. All right, so you see here, we may actually be getting some intelligent responses. What is potash? I don't think hydrogen peroxide is an anesthetic, and I don't think it's used for pain relief. Uh, I think it's probably toxic. We probably have to ask the safety model for this. All right, so I don't know how useful this is either. It seems kind of goofy. Uh, all right, so it's finding stuff that's sort of related, but not very intelligently related. But it is good to see that we got some kind of a model here. Let's take a look at what we managed to get from this. So let's see. I think the models are here in data. So you can see there's something wrong here. These are all 4 kilobytes, which means basically that well, actually those are directories. So let's take a look in here at the full dialog retrieval model. And yeah, these are just too small. This is 396.8 megabytes. There's no way. There is no way that that's the full model. There's something that's gone wrong there. Where was I here? I want to go back. This is the blended skill talk single task model. And let's see. Yeah, these are very tiny models. See, this model here, the knowledge retriever is 2.9 gigabytes. And this is from January 11th. So this is not the one that I just downloaded. Wizard single task. Could it be the Wikipedia under 2016? This one is the one I was having trouble with, I think. This is the one that would not, well, you can see this one is uncompressed. Yeah, it says it's not in a gzip format. So some of these files that were zipped up were done incorrectly. And so it'd be good if they found them all and fixed the ones that were messed up this way. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this video is getting really long. So I'm going to say goodbye and thank you very much for joining me. By the way, it's quite interesting to see that I'm able to run not only evaluations and such using the GPUs, but I'm also able to run OBS at the same time on this system, which I think is impressive. Anyway, thank you for joining, and bye-bye.